Jelly betang sang yebe. Jelly betang sang yebe. Girl kem kala me jebangage. Okfia wa chola be jang ne yagam yod. Tungela chap yumada wotya de jolnyan pagamo wa bie. Go kai yokoyak. Yan juro kwanga gwet. Duro kwange gwet kango kaliu nyan kwanga gai. Pama kam yod. Kaya jom kala me jere na mayol nam de bon.
No chaka moda pe we ko bedai na Ajak Deng Chiengkou ko akal pe nin bet penero 2024 pa water pa ne chol Tarneit Melbourne ka pa no Australia tinam ko jiran to camera num to ngten engineer Majok Dut Morwel tinam ko ke rintin jibal bidi wa 2000 ka cha bangi chele ye mon lwat lekin tin ko wa to roki ko wa to ran chito ni ku chana tinga kan ku ar ke Ethiopia ka nge ke engineer Majok especially on you be ke on you SRRA ku you remember that so kito ka ben wa jama kal is a politician, is an engineer and a liberator. So kokabu jal kan jo ke di manatin a good ben lo sukule ku jo jal lo Ethiopia to where he is now. So can nega be jal ben uncle in jamot
the pay yak. Yes, summer.
Okay, thank you. Hey report in ba mo the pay ku ka ba jal kan le wok da Majok Dut ditinen ku yama ma de ken un ke cholnga
Ajak in a name my young a here got there ku quite here got a could be in a china young meat if I any penediet in year well you might could you allow room in a year remembered by events. And we'll tell you, and I did, according to my parents, and I did the room tam need. And take a well, I think. Kurun tam need, a tam no. Tam need, major pingham. A tam 1945. So, the point I'm going to kind of like him, and I see Ron Yala, because chap cap your way to go with me. So, Rumi Tom did it. Yeah, I guess, Lona, it was starting from 1945 to 1948.
48.
And the child, Tiakin could have, okay, I now did 1948. I didn't the exact date of which
I
go, it's not here, God. Quite a good year than it really. And I read a timber booth when the pumpkin was being tested.
Okay, so
which month is that? That is June, July.
June, July.
So I put it to July. And my birthday to come.
Okay.
Now, like schooling.
Wait, check out this way, Mama. Don't name your siblings.
Detum, or what, detum? When you come.
So way back.
Back. Can you what Carol? I just thought I know what this mad tribal war. Yes.
What you were?
No, I'll go up in the 60s. Yes. I'm not in 1967. Yes.
Okay. Come like it.
Come like it.
Okay.
Yes, and so, Tamkin many could Tamkin where they quite now I had the sixth born in the family.
Okay.
Now when did she told when I love when did you she told Nyan la when they chuk she told yeah. So and she don't kind of the elders in the family kind of do it.
Okay, one of that to each
yeah, one thing into what housing. But ran by chuk she told them to SRRA. Okay. One border.
Okay.
Uban to SRRA Louis for Jamaica.
Okay.
Ato Logzande.
In Yambio.
in Yambio, 2000.
Okay.
Year 2000. In a Towen. Monday to Quantan,
Ato ba ata.
at a bite.
Okay. Jal tukul joga da yang yini yang atewi sukuli.
Rantawa and the college, when the inner, the brother of my mother was a chief. And then he was a sub chief actually.
Hemo ndo ajia.
Yeah, he was a sub chief to a Gwada there.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, now Gwada there being the paramount chief of Luanyang by then. Chứ bạn chạy thì cái trò. Cô luyện work. Cái ai cho work. Mi đạo là tụi cô lính bên nhà mắc cái này.
Quên đi đấy.
Quên đi được. Dọa cái mịt. Mà có gặp tụi cô lính. Cô nào ai ra chi mịt dọa. Cái cặp bà mạch.
Bà lá rồi sẽ dễ.
Bà sẽ dễ này. Bữa đi started. Bữa mịt cái. What? Còn nhiều. Bà có gặp tụi cô lính các bạn.
Quên đi.
Ina quên đi. So, ina regia là tụ vài. Vô giờ, mà cho, cô giờ là đi cái chiều am một lưỡi được hin. Cái lưỡi là ina dọc mệt. Vô tụ cô lính. Go, mà giờ lưỡi là lại chạy lưỡi, có lưỡi. Cái chiều cũng mà lưỡi có giảm mạnh. So, cái dọc mệt. Go mà giờ thì chẳng ai wish bà là. Go lưỡi cái when y'all do there, my friend did that. Well, my little mentor.
Duro chilo.
Go well, go la kuma man quite a quite gakata, Kamana kuma. Kakatina yen cat. Canada.
Ever joking.
And a Koreas. Waga, Luan Kapak. Yeah. 1955, and he down here, who have into a mission school, sub-grade school. Can I teach you around me today? That was the beginning. And that was the schooling. The school was starting on 1st April every year. That is school line. Oh, I took out that you got a york paying your lady. Oh, I got paying your lady.
Where are you?
Ogarian, you know that. And it's been away up when the to what you been guy when the show yara tunkel. She up and guy will be away that. So, and I like that can't young body can what. Look when you pain. Who you got a lady? La, pay back le ben. Kamalim da opiaj. Kakai on the more on
Mọi là người lấy tuổi là mọi.
No, mọi giờ.
Okay.
Ai mọi giờ. Ran đàn qua đâu được. Luyện mít. Lẽ cả để tổng chim ban. Gêu. Chẳng chứ đâu cú đi.
1955 August 18 again.
Yes. 1955.
Okay.
Chẳng chứ đâu cú đi. You know batar cái Arab. Cái quê nào đấy cái thú đi trên quê cả na, lá cái bé cuốn, thì yêu yêu quê cái trên câu cái nào quê, cái trăm chỗ là gió trên coi chấp biết, cái chuyện là quý cụ thú cuốn gì thế, bây giờ bé con pin mà bắt đầu được, nó chạy ra, bây giờ bé của that was on the 18th of August 1955, first year cái của tôi.
Tem go school.
Local Temco, local by. Now in 1956, the school was reopened. Tongue child subsiding. Kibana is spreading. But good. Jalkuban to Kuli. The solution was we got repeating first year.
Right. In 1956.
1956. Jalku first year, Lola.
Yeah, what?
Later, man, I used to pass. But another disadvantage was that my uncle, the stepbrother of my father, and a school patron, and a Benjamin, Randia school.
Enemy char ko betin
Him. He was concerned because could I 2 classes on Na Tiang, they in allowed to the mission primary school in Mayang, which was 100 kilometers away. Being developed in 3rd year. He was concerned about my age. Kelwe Kurel Mamken. Yoga Lon Chian Tiang. A kilo below me.
adugote
I do with it. Yes. So, 1957, Chanak Panjiglia, 1958, and 1959, ko cha use exam pay because I didn't use every year, but because I know code,
kalwelo ka chila
kala nyen mamro. So, na 1959, ko cha use. 1960, 1st April 1960, Ojala Mayamabu, 3rd year. No Kujal Kumu. 3rd year, Yalkujak, Yo Mayamabu. Wajal got clear. Abud decided to turn Sunday into a working day. A politicization and Yal. But not that. Let me take you back a little bit. Our politicization and Kanija Ping Chowon in Yajbil in Tongatory. Okay, today is a pot, but that was the beginning. The other second portion to this, in 1955, a politician by name Dominic Morwel Malo. Don China campaign ran down by a partner. Dominic Morwel was one of the politicians. In our school, we didn't know his exact background because being so young by then, but one of the teachers. Morwel. One day in 1957, Kabole Naraba,
Sukulit.
the Comer. I got Comer, Jitia, Comer car.
Boma Yamabunta.
No, she bomb in 1957.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, one word for Jiggly. A part of the politics, and I knew this Kakoy Arab police can. I took them back to the coolie, go more when you dump it. Kunyaika. Oh, I jog, I can wait and can run down the chicken went dump. And what you watch. The teacher had to back the police who were organizing the children to give a send off tomorrow in a dignified form because I will meet her. Actually, quite meet her. Big log yonder to your weather dumb, well, she'd a mujur.
Iran Dino Lloyd, from which section?
He's from Jalwao.
Okay.
Essentially, he's from Morwen Malo, he's from Jalwao.
Okay.
Right down a Quaybay Tiapo. Yeah, that's where he comes from.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I keep on you send out through a parade. Or I wrote an organized local parade, we just marching, okay. But we were weeping.
Where they are?
Because the memory of 1955 was actually so could it be true, Lorna? Kalana? That was the source of our weeping. Actually, killing on him, London, Tangata. 1957 kan. Kujal pun in 1959 Jala Mayamabud. Mayamabud 1960 Kabud well Sunday. Kekeneloy.
Kuwaji are Christian by then.
Over Christians. We again went on strike. Protesting the change of the holiday. And I kept when set right. Bishop Mazzoldi, and he got from Wow, imagine the distance. We are driving over the weekend, but when we are on. Now on Sunday, I got a kanisa iko. Tuunta okay. Your miss alone, I can miss a talk. Cause your little meat. Cứ chia đơn vào bên. Cứ cái chả lôi này chả pin. We got a strike because Sunday has been turned into a working day. Your will my advice to you, Milke. To tell us to cool down. But more what you get. Because you will lose everything. Because you want to wake up. Cái chắc bất càng yêu. Real don't be what real cái chắc yêu. Giờ lúc cái chim nhà đấy bất mãn. Yang mana way do a kolium that. Real I chill a kieta. Era real. Ten a week.
In cái chết
What way real and kieta. Cái gì nào đấy ra cái gì lớn nó. The other way the pink của lót phương cái của đuôi lôi. Bữa đó con bị real rồi yêu qua đó. Cái way cái chắc lắm đột cái của đấy. Cái nó bị vỡ, gì đó nên bị vỡ cái yok. Vô cố gắng, đốt cổ từ cô đấy. Now it was a government policy. Là nó mới chỉ là strike, I'll be like punish. The gam cái big do school. Or else like a bike. So the punishment was when no one knew. Ran one and Benjamin announced my job to the teacher. Cô đấy là Big Ajak Big Dut school. Well, look, y'all can go in the parade in the morning. In the morning, y'all parade, y'all shot. Y'all call the berry. We'll chagam, well, yes, kachuga. Well, okay. Each one of you, 20 lashes. 20 lashes each. What y'all do first?
Coi đứt rồi chứ cái.
Well, you know, are Christians, but they have no choice. Who 20 lashes I live? Yes, but I do one essentially. That's how come and 11 in Florida. They were doing the government policy. Yeah. So, well, that time, you know, I could get 20, but you're that paying marching into the class. I think that was now the third phase of politicization. Chúng dân nghĩ là đấy, trong trong. And chúng ta chậm, 1961, going to intermediate school. Guagam Busere Seminary.
In Wow.
Yes, near Wow. Yes, 12 kilometers from Wow. And he had been Gamthi. I went there, Busere. 61, 62, 63. I mean, 62 and Yalan is job and intermediate. Because 61 in a New Jan. And December 61 in a New Jan. Now, April 62, Kajala intermediate. So 62, 63, 64. It was intense. The first suspects are schools of the missionaries to Kulabu.
Oh, by the northern regime.
By the north.
Okay.
So their warplane, when Chita Anyanya Charodiot, their warplane was flying over our school every day, Nala do Yedom.
Wakat. Chin shelters, take away. Chin shelters.
As you, but you were Ngangi shelters right then. Thinking that we were going to be bombed. So the situation was so scary. The first thing was the missionaries began deciding to close the school. And immediately they closed the school. An order was brought out from Khartoum, all the missionaries being there from South Sudan. Yes. Yes. I put, but
Okay.
Azari. 18. So the school was closed. I decided to go back home. But life was really terrible. To the extent I made a decision. I might not be able to get back to any school again. I just made up my mind. That routine. Yare 1965, 66, 67, 68, nang mid 69. And Chamoya.
Bukan tu ketenda before 69. On chintu cha mi odula waj wala changola loy.
Well, I came out, so I was not interested in those things. I've Garnum and Jukway. Garnum, my age mates were enticing me be at the algorithm.
Go quick.
Walk quick, could have no. Because then I was very ill. I was, this lower Tifka.
I'm bigger barrier.
Got brought out by force or no during the school year. A quilt of a band doing it.
So in Kinchila, you wouldn't keep you go but it took about anything.
No. So on. And a cage back, I'm Kakana Kiloika. And I look at you, a toy big up and entice to try to convince me be a government well and no one took the time at what. So that was how I stayed in the village. 1969, mid 69, what a jot. It was again an incident. And I have growing. What is it? Muktong Quantica. Who I want to I up. Yeah, lol. You go ringa. Put up a white coat, Kuriko, Kunyopko. So while we were hunting, like Pogakai, Kawanwaba. One weather. Kulil Majoka, one hat. Will tapping on keep bang duna? Well, we'll bang down.
A 68 again.
A 68. Tapping on keep bang duna? Well, we'll bang down.
Oh, yeah, landing around the pitch, so bang duna got your pitch.
Bang you by the pitch. Well, take bang down. Well, not dang on the other. Well, we'll dang on the other. Anything I know. Well, if they look at you, know. But I came on more and I sat down without knowing. I was sobbing, weeping.
Because you now have two incidents plus this one, 3. So you are politically aware.
Why you are team in 111? What is by the To them, they had nothing to do with other road girl. It was their
After in their own world.
Yeah, that's how in their own world. This was something to do with quite a period. That was their understanding. When King Anna Nadia, he knew Nadia was from a different world.
But
nothing Nadia was your guy. Where a baban down the arcade. Could you? From there, you have a chiriac. You have done near Bogolai. I was demoralized. I went back home. Up in Yoiba. And I think I was unable to explain it. Now, in 1969, I decided to tell my mom and I was called. Well, then I'm a neck I go.
Oh, good thing.
Yeah, people are being killed. Well, you know, come to the other king. It was my maternal uncle, and he went to my support. Could you agree each other? I think we not get.
Baguru, you know, man, Baguru, you
can by then it can work.
So, but I would go on right.
And Chaba Chopa, and
do one man with a lottery to my
letter. And letter in the school kid down there, 9 days before he died.
Okay.
Good on it all Raja and Yirul Junior Intermediate School. Yeah, and I look at that one, a technical school. Go on 9 Bodne Mary. Toy technical. That school was built as a technical school. But now that time breaking our run, it was deserted. So when late William came back to town, he decided to convince your Mathiam. Could work meet Adil Kanani school talk. it is another way of deterring them from joining the rebellion. That is how we convince Jalab. It is another way of preventing them from joining the rebellion. Let us engage them in education. Go your Bogan. And Kunganyi School Toktonj. That school brought in children from Upper Nile, children from Equatoria, children from Bargazal. We were over 1,000.
In that school?
In that school.
Boarding?
Boarding.
Okay.
That was where I joined. When I am done, my shape was looking very bad from the village. I just some of my colleagues, Kachaban earlier, Yalke.
Allah don't kiki rednen.
Well, I let my buyer, I got Bakarian. So somebody came, a friend came and gave me a dress. Kujala school. My shape, when the headmaster saw me, and the headmaster was an Arab. When he saw my shape, my colleagues said, this is one of the students. Okay? Does he know how to read and write? Has he ever gone to school? Well, yes.
And they were doing that on Tsukulachi, they've got Arabic pattern.
No. English pattern.
Okay.
Yeah, in Murke, English pattern. Because they knew the children who came from there were all English pattern. So the teacher was rejecting me, that this boy kakikang school. Yare in the town. I was even under threat of harassment. One night.
So are Kenyan allowed school?
Kenyan allowed. One night, harassment came back from the military. They came and knocked at the door of the house where I was lodging. Fortunately, the house where I was accommodated also everyone had his water. But I had his water. So, Bagoyaku were done for work. Yes, Ima, the Nana, Barbe, or Joe Banbe. We want the man inside here. What are we now? What is the matter with you?
Not a love is a young dress?
No, but so I
jalabit. So cheating it, cheating it, well, again. You can you need a dog?
I'm the dog, I'm the
okay.
I'm the Jan under any dog.
I wouldn't buy a week.
Yes. No, and a week. I was suspected under an arrow.
Oh, because in Kila school?
Yes, because the thing I know. I can't during the day and I can't go out. Could the thing I took, and you can't get water. So this man, a Bilara road. It must be an anyanya. So I need your bandway. You're catching me, I'm gonna. You're winning really, I'm going to care. Whether he is a motomerit. Well, no, this is a student. He's just coming from the village to join the school. You're really, look at his age. Around the Villa Road, can. But you're saying I ain't doing it, no. Well, what I got a job for young guy. Boki was one of them. Out of water, Kapalanaka. Out of water and that. So they trusted him. Now, my other colleagues, when they came in the school, they were pestering the headmaster. Could be at the Algam by all means. Go headmaster, go real cow. This boy, I will not accept him unless he sits the examination. Let him wait for the second term. I mean, for the first term.
Next the other year?
No. First term, this year, 1969. Let him wait because to go down in July. Yes. So let him wait for the first term. When you get him, if he passes even marginally, I will accept him. Go what can go down, okay. Then they were giving me their exercise books, but I'm going over, reading little by little, little by little. I went to the class. I said, when I was number 37 out of 54. The headmaster was so happy, he went and bought me clothes.
Because he thought that you would be the last one.
Yes. He went and bought me clothes. Because, I had surprised him a lot.
Many years at home in the village, and how could you continue again?
So I joined. Formally, he bought me a desk from the market, a school desk and a chair, and I joined the school formally. The final year came. I mean, the final examination going to the next class. I was number 3. Out of 54. So that was how I went ahead. Examination level, the educational system was changed by somebody by name Muhyiddin Sabr. It was changed from the intermediate. It used to be elementary, intermediate, and
junior
and secondary.
Oh, secondary. Okay.
But Muhyiddin Sabr came and said, primary, which consisted of 8 classes, and then junior secondary and senior secondary.
Okay.
So, Karajiban turned into, we were delayed by 1 year because of the junior secondary change. So we were delayed by 1 year. We couldn't go to the secondary. We had to spend 1970 again in the class. In the class. 1971. Now we sat the exam and we went to Omdurman.
Okay.
That was where Rumbek Secondary School was.
Oh, after the relocation?
Yes.
After the relocation of
Rumbek. During the war, Rumbek was relocated to Omdurman.
Okay.
Yes, during the Nyanyawan War.
Okay.
He was relocated to Omdurman. So we went to Omdurman. We did first year there, and then the Addis Ababa Agreement was signed, and Rumbek Secondary School was transferred back
to Rumbek
proper. That's why we
walk back to again.
Rumbek.
Hey.
Yes, it was really in Rumbek. Things were really not that easy. It was really difficult. To the point that at one time there was no food in the school. So the school was closed for some time. We went back to our homes. When the time of the examination, the Sudan school certificate came, we were called back. When we came back to Rumbek again, there was still no food in the school. We were now put in the lorries, the final students, put to the lorries, and we were taken to Juba.
Are you serious?
Yes. To go and sit the final exams in Juba. We were accommodated in Juba Commercial. And we would come and do our examinations in Juba 1. This one opposite.
72 men or 73?
And this one, 71.
Okay.
Yeah, 71. I mean, 74. 74 in New York.
In the final year.
Yes, the final year. 74 in New York. From the secondary school to the university. 74. So that was the time we were brought to Juba. To come and see.
Yeah, man, you do and call on to Rumbe, man, your colleague that you can remember.
There are quite a good number of them.
Okay.
Yes, there are quite a good number of them. Major Engineer Ajak.
Ajak,
Ajak, yes, he studied in Egypt.
Okay.
On board.
Okay,
Ajak.
Yeah.
There was Engineer Ajak, and then there was Morris Rian from Baradazad. Near the town is now an architect in Juba University.
Okay.
Quite a good number of them at all.
Okay.
Yeah, in Juba. We said our final school certificate, and then we went back to our homes. The results were announced later on. I was one of those accepted in the Faculty of Engineering.
In
architecture, Khartoum University.
Khartoum University.
Yes. I was admitted to Khartoum University because my pass mark was good.
Was good to the university?
Yeah. Faculty of Engineering and Architecture.
Okay.
Yes. So I joined 1974, October 1974. That's when
you enrolled to the university.
Enrolled in the university first year. Now at the university, there was hot politics. You know, we had the organization called ANF, African Nationalist Front. That was the students' body of the Southern Sudanese students.
Within the Gordon Institute, within the University of Khartoum.
Within the University of Khartoum. But again, the ANF, you know, our these differing shades of opinion of ours, which is still existing today, we were never going together. Yes,
The three regions were totally going differently.
There was one group of SSU, and then the group of ANF. Knowing that SSU was a political organization, but the ANF, although it involves in politics, it was a social organization which unifies the Southern students. Now, people like Lama Col and Riak didn't like that. They didn't like the SSU.
So okay.
Yeah. They didn't like the SSU. Well, of course, they were our colleagues, or they were seniors.
So, you know when you call SSU or were you with the SSU?
I was in the ANF.
Okay.
In the ANF.
But
that was senior to me.
Okay, so you were part of the SSU.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Agao was senior to me.
Okay.
Now, with this SSU and ANF, I was a member of the ANF because I had one time been a member of the executive committee. Now, one day, that was March 1973, we were celebrating the Addis Ababa Agreement. And this was being organized by the SSU in order to commemorate the Addis Agreement. Commemorating the Addis Agreement, those who were against the SSU, they didn't want to attend it.
Wow.
Look at that. But it was something pertaining to the South. It was something.
And a unifying...
the unifying factor. They didn't want it. Now, again, I was joining the fight. The Arabs mobilized themselves. They wanted to destroy the exhibition. We had a very big exhibition on campus.
About South Sudan.
About South Sudan. And the benefits of the agreement. So, the Arabs, they mobilized, specifically the Muslim brothers. They mobilized themselves and...
Trabi
actually, I don't know. Muslim brothers were very active. So, okay, they mobilized themselves. They wanted to come for a fight. And they took the microphone, mobilizing the students. أيها الإخوة الطلاب إن الكفار والمنافقين قد احتلوا النشاط. Who are the kuffar? The kuffar are. And who are the munafiqin? Munafiqin are Jamhurin.
The Republicans.
The Republicans. The Muslims who were tolerant. Yeah, those who were liberal.
Yeah.
Those are the munafiqin. When I heard this, automatically I got angry.
You became politically radicalized.
Kulatang immediately courage kurut.
Chatu el kono man wala karga tor woto.
Watara le. When they came in numbers, we fought for 3 hours.
Within the university?
Within the university. When they came in numbers, they overwhelmed us, we ran away. But that was not the end of the fight. The following day, Buka Yokare ran you the middle page.
Was the government not favoring them?
Well, you know, in the university politics, it is like a kind of unruly. The government tries to keep a distance away from them.
So it's a matter of you divide the campus now.
Yeah, you divide the campus. I think. So, on the following day after the fight, we came back. You find Jalaba Garer Kurinum, you momentarily. So, they didn't like that. The students, the Arab students, they decided, they said, this, they're not going to leave the fight, let's go to our homes. So they departed the university. When the university chancellor, when he saw this, the vice chancellor, when he saw this happening, he called the Southern school students. And he said, look here, you are destroying the university. Why have you taken the fight too far? Please, come on. Now you stop the fight. Let's get back to college. That was when we cooled down. And then the university was reopened and order came again.
Uh-huh.
But the politics never ended. Then politics went on like that, went on like that, went on like that. We had formed a number of different organizations underground. We were communicating with the Anyanya. Yes, when Anyanya too, in 1975.
With Vincent Kwan.
When Vincent Kwan, when he rebelled from Akobo.
From Akobo.
And he went to Ethiopia, he was communicating with us by letters. Our letters were coming through the post office and we were reading them.
And they were not being intercepted.
They were not being intercepted. Very interesting. So we formed different political organizations like Niban. Niban was a country of Nilotics and Bantus. That was the name.
That was the name. So you guys, you become totally separatists now. You want something that will be different.
Exactly. So we are different political establishments. How to liberate South Sudan. That was it. We went on like that until I graduated. It was all politics throughout.
And you are an engineering student.
I'm an engineering student.
But you prefer to discuss politics by that time.
Exactly, yes.
So on Chinjabi Tok Jabe Inche, you got your degree what year?
I got my degree in 1979.
Okay, the year I was born.
It was 5 years. It was 5 years. You know, one thing, Jack, let me take you back a little bit. The person that shaped my future, you know, teachers, what Franco Will told us in Tonj. Franco Will was the education director in WOW. When he came to Tonj after we had, we had these tribal fights in the school. And he said, you students, be careful. We teachers, we make kings and we remain slaves. We teachers,
we make kings.
We make kings and we remain slaves. I believed in his statement. See how it happened to me. In Rubeck Secondary School, when you have finished second year, going to third year, the final form, that is what they call a specialization. You choose the type of subject you will follow, whether to go to science, and within science there is going to mathematics and going to biology. And then those remaining with arts. One of our teachers was Marial Takpe.
Professor?
Yes. I believe he is here.
He passed.
He passed?
Yeah.
When?
2 years ago.
Oh my God. That was one man who built my capabilities.
He was in Sydney, but he passed.
Yeah. Okay.
Professor Maria passed.
Yeah, sorry. Didn't hear it completely. So, this man was calling out the names from the list. And he said, Majok? I said, yes, sir. He said, where are you? I said, I'm here. Where? I said, I'm in the group of biology. No, you can't be there. I said, why? I said, I wanted to become a vet because my father has cows.
So I want to look after my dad's cows.
Nobody will look after them better than me. So I want to study veterinary science. He said, no, come here. I tried to refuse. He got down from the podium, came and pulled me to the mathematics class. We were only 8 in number. 7 South Sudanese and 1 Ethiopian, who was a refugee by then. That was how I went to mathematics.
Oh, okay.
And that's how I went to engineering. It was decided by Marial Takpin. Now, after hearing that I was accepted in Khartoum University, when I was in my second year university, I went to the university.
Of Khartoum?
Of Khartoum.
To see you?
To look for me, to see me.
Ah.
He said, Majok, congratulations. But when you graduate, come and work in the Ministry of Education. I said, but I'm not yet graduated. Let me succeed first. He said, no, I'm sure you will make it. You will graduate successfully.
he encouraged you to mathematics?
Yes.
And now he's taking you from the School of Engineering
Yes.
to education.
Education. Because the school building unit needs somebody to care for it. It needs an engineer.
Okay.
I said, okay, let me graduate first. He said, no, you will graduate. And he went to when he heard that I had graduated successfully, he went to the Ministry of Education. And he told them, I have somebody for you.
In Khartoum?
Yes, I mean in
Juba.
Juba. Yes. That was how I was recruited as building supervisor, my first job as building supervisor for the Ministry of Education.
He's the one in Juba?
Is the one in Juba. And the line I was towing, I was implementing government's policy. You know, Abel Alier and his group, they had devised an educational policy whereby when so many children came from East Africa, after the Addis Ababa Agreement, there were no secondary schools.
Across South Sudan?
Yes, and there was no money to build new schools. So what did the government do? The government devised a policy of what they call change in use. Intermediate schools were converted to secondary schools.
Okay.
And elementary schools were converted into intermediate schools. And the elementary school children were given what was known as granted aid. They would go and build with their parents, with the local materials, and they would be given what they cannot afford to buy, like zinc sheets, like doors and windows. That's all. So that community that had built something on their own
is rewarded.
Is rewarded. And who was at the front line? Engineer Majok.
Wow.
Wherever a new secondary school was announced, it means there was going to be a displacement along the line. The new secondary school would displace the intermediate. Then the intermediate would displace the elementary. And the elementary children would go to their parents. And the parents would put up something with the local materials. Engineer Majok had first to go to assess how this was going to be feasibility. So I had to go to start first with the new intermediate school that has been converted into a secondary to see whether it can meet the standard criteria for a secondary school or not. Once I'm satisfied that that intermediate can accommodate a secondary school, I now go to the elementary school to check if it can accommodate the displaced intermediate. Then after that one, I go back to Juba, I prepare my report, I submit it, and then after some time, the parents have been informed that your children this year, they are not going to attend school in this elementary. You have to bill for them. So when the parents will have organized themselves and have built something, they will call the ministry. Please, we have done something, but we need support. Can you send your engineer to come and see what we have done? Again, I will go back to the same location.
From the national government, the National Executive Council.
Yes, exactly.
And then you go back and you're monitoring on the ground.
I go back again. I go now directly, I've submitted my report for the conversion of the other two schools, but now the final one is the small one built by the community, which I'm going to inspect. How much do they need? What kind of support? I go and document, write my report, bring it back to Juba. Then the government will give the necessary support I had recommended. The government will never lie.
So you have access to the minister?
Yes. What?
And the directors?
The directors. They all like me in the ministry. I was actually a favorite in the ministry because they knew I knew my job.
Okay.
Yeah, so they were all happy with me. The director of planning, I was under the director of planning. Yeah, but Yitzhak Well was the director of Nyara. Yes, and the minister was first this man from Equatorial, and later on it was first Barna Baduma, and then later on it was Andrew Yauriak.
Okay.
Yes, those were the ministers. So all of them were happy with me. So that was how I met.
Ja ben tigru nano.
And you till 1984.
O waranya nyai. Inji yodwe.
Yes, and you can't tear ku jai yodwe.
Okay, go be jala dung now.
Yeah.
Okay. Jalo ko ben na on jalo bairia into
When you're by the
India ji juba ten wala de no.
no, I hear you one yellow yellow.
Ria ba into no.
And I told Ma the 1983 uprising in Bor, I was in Juba.
Okay.
Yes, I was in Juba. And then the South was divided soon after that.
I kokoro.
Kokora. So,
We larwa.
yes,
Kulo koko malakal.
Yes, I went to WOW. In WOW, I got another scholarship to Holland.
Okay.
My construction management diploma and about Central. Yes, that's where I went. Yes.
Balan arun gade.
No, just 6 months. 6 months diploma course.
From in the middle of 1983.
Yeah, 1983, 84. Yes, 83, 84. When I finished my diploma course successfully, I came back.
Lo du kada ku ton ka tong ra jok.
Well, down here a job, but still we were able to venture it out.
Jani teno jani jo kuma na nyoji juba.
No.
Ti abar through kai is Africa.
No, and about from Khartoum, and about from Khartoum to Juba, and then from Juba to WOW.
Okay.
Yes, that was how I traveled.
Okay.
Yes, that was how I traveled. And, I had this idea of, I had an experience from Anyanyawan. People who married in Anyanyawan had a lot of problems later on. These derogatory remarks of people. So I decided first to marry and then go to the bush.
Okay.
That was my hate. That was what motivated me to come back.
So into Dubai.
And to Dubai.
Lo ku ja tik tia.
Yes, no we got Indian man meet can jat. Yes.
Ku ja wan no mana wala ja jalu
No can ba chu cha do cho.
Ko ki kai.
We book at Bugrim. We walked out from WOW. We came to my mother's house. And from my mother's house we walked all the way across the desert up to Ethiopia.
Cha tik bor wala cha tik no.
I take mind that.
Ye na ga ne ga dikap. Ye 84.
That was 1980, early 88.
Okay.
Early 88. That was March 88.
Kwachin man ti di.
No, when the Morwel chip here.
A bar wala cha ko.
Yeah, Morwel chap. I was carrying him. So we walked all the way. It took us 59 days.
From Luanjang up from WOW up to
No, from Luanjang up to Penudo. 59 days.
ku ja kala wan men ke wala ja la.
Now, one we got a bill from.
Okay. On now le lot in bit pam chi lo recruited immediately as a graduate now an experienced employee wala
Not really, Kapana scale. There is nothing of the sort. You must first of all get in line, although they were a bit lenient to us in terms of training, they were a bit lenient to us because many of us were old. One morning when the screening was being done for Shield 5, we were standing in the parade. And then Salpa was just standing there. Chico gave him.
Benki.
And then Majanga got now came.
To ne ne ta medan.
He was now touring the parade. He came and passed. I was in the front line of the squad. He passed. Then, on coming back from behind, where I was standing in attention, of course, he hit my shoulder here. Certain fikam dagiga. I said 120. He said, get out.
So
I was disqualified.
why are you being correct?
Well,
No, but that's what you did.
so I
Certain figure. No, certain figure of the giga, that is 120.
So I went out, and then the others who were a bit in the borderline, who were seen not to be old, they were told to go and run. He must have to build for me, where people go to run. They were told to go and run. And again, some were screamed out. Now, even the colleagues were now making derogatory remarks. They said, yeah, engineer, you have failed the test here. I said, how? He said, but you didn't answer correctly. I said, what should have been the answer? They said, the answer should have been Mia Ushri. I said, what difference does it make?
120 and Mia Ushri.
They said it a Mukhalif. So I said, I'm a Mukhalif. I said, okay, that's fine. So you have failed the test.
So you have to...
according to military conduct.
So you don't have to be clever than your superior.
Exactly. That's the meaning. That is the meaning.
That's very sad.
Yeah.
Jelly betang sang yebe, jelly betang sang yebe. Girl kem kalame jebengage. Ofia wa chole bejang ne yagam yod. Tungela chap yemada wotia de julnyan pagamo wae bie. Toa kai yakoyak. Yan juro kwanga gwet, duro kwange gwet kango daliu nyan kwanga gai. Pama kam yod, kaya jom kalame jerang mayol nam debon.
Kayen we cha kheng mo to we koi be kan ne kinala ping na Ajak Deng Chiengkou